Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Gray here. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I kind of want to talk about something that has been, at least in my experience in personal finance, it has been something that is on my mind constantly. And though I don't think it should be, it really is something that I find to be a very big deal, because obviously if you're working towards such a big goal, it's important to us to know, are we actually achieving anything? Are we doing enough? Which is a very big question that a lot of us feel, especially in your younger years. Are you actually doing enough? So I wanted to kind of talk about this video. There was a study done that came out, and there's a few different resources and a few different links that have done studies like this. And I wish they were more specific. If there's anyone that has the power to do studies like this, I wish there was one that came out where it's like the average 20-year-old and the median 20-year-old, 21, 22, 23, and like every single age down to the actual age. So you could know what is your income, what is your net worth, everything like that, broken down by the actual year. But so far we only have it by about the decade. So I kind of want to talk about this in today's video and lay it out for you to kind of talk about, are you actually succeeding for your age? Are you doing well? And then some tips sprinkled in here and there on how you can improve. So let's jump right into it. So I'll kind of have the chart up here on the screen, and I'll kind of explain the difference between the two numbers and what this kind of looks like and what you should aim for. So for the first one, the age by decade, we're going to start with our 20s. The average net worth is $106,601, with the median net worth to be $7,487. So that's obviously a big jump. Now, why is that? Well, it's going to take, obviously the average is going to take the people who are worth 10, 20, 50, even just 1 million, and also the people that are worth 0, 10,000, or even negative dollars, and it's going to kind of average them out. And the other issue that I have with these kind of studies is the fact that it takes somebody who is, it's their birthday and they just turned 20, and then somebody who's 29 and 364 days. That's a big jump. So obviously you're gonna have people who have, maybe they finished law school or anything like that, and now they're making a little bit more money, or they really hustled, or they built a business and it took off, or whatever it might be. If you have 9 years of dedicated effort, almost 10 years, obviously you're gonna have a higher net worth. So that's why I mentioned the median. And the reason I do is the median is obviously gonna be that middle number. So if you're ahead of that median, you're doing very well, especially the younger you are. If the entire category is in your 20s and the median net worth is $7,487, if you're 21 and you're ahead of that already, if you just continue to add to that, by the time you're 29, you could already be ahead of somebody in their 30s. So a couple ways to consider this: your net worth, what you own minus what you owe. So if you have no debt and you have $10,000 invested and $10,000 in cash, your net worth would be $20,000. However, if you have $10,000 cash, but you owe $10,000, your net worth is actually 0, technically on paper. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you have student loans or you're thinking about financing a car, things like that, definitely consider that, because you might look in an account and see $8,000, but at the end of the day, if you have debt, it's obviously gonna be draining that back down. So that brings me to the next decade, which is gonna be if you're in your 30s. This might be the time where you're getting, married, having a family, buying a house, things like that. And so the average net worth goes up to $298,379, and the median net worth is $35,334. So obviously, again, a huge difference between the two numbers. So a couple things to consider is, if you're younger and you're watching these videos, definitely try to pick, let's say you're 25. If you can get ahead in your 20s and you can get above the average net worth in your 20s, it's almost guaranteed you will be higher than the median net worth of that next age. So just a quick kind of caveat, but we'll continue. So in your 40s, there's going to be an average net worth of $752,363, and then finally we're in the 6 figures of the median, which is $125,434. So if you're in your 40s, you're probably going to have a couple 401ks that have rolled over from various jobs. Maybe you finally started investing and things like that, but you've kind of missed the 2 best decades of your life for compound growth. Theoretically, you could hit 100K net worth in 3 years of dedicated effort, maybe 5 if you're a little bit slower, 2 if you're really dedicated, 1 if you're insane. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, the fact that it took at least 22 years to hit over a 100K net worth kind of exemplifies kind of our current way of living, our culture, is the fact that they've been alive for at least 40 years. They could be closer to 49, and they're just now hitting 6 figures. And so I don't want to shame anybody or anything like that. We all come from different spots in life. When you lay it out where you just have to save $91 a day for 3 years straight, and you'll hit 100K without even taking into account interest of if your money's in a high yield savings account, or if you actually invest that money and you're getting 7, 8, up to maybe 12% on your money, you really need to consider the fact that as your wealth is building, it actually, once you hit 100K, your net worth kind of skyrockets. So the fact that it took over 20 years to actually achieve that 6 figures kind of worries me. So I will say, if you're in the younger age, again, I would personally, and I'm doing this as well, I would use those younger years to push through and see if you can hit that 6-figure net worth as young as humanly possible, because as your wealth grows, it'll actually outpace you in its own contribution. But so that brings me from the 50s. So we're in the 7-figure average net worth of $1,361,319, or the median net worth of $289,633. Again, we're dealing with that 6-figure issue where now you've had over 30 years of compound growth and you're still in the low 6 figures. So just something to consider. If you're putting cash away, you're saving money and things like that, it should be possible to hit 6 figures a lot faster than this. That brings me to 60s, where you have $1.67 million. So $1,670,367 of the average net worth, and then $445,422 of the median net worth. And so now you're probably going to be hitting that age where you're going to start taking out of your retirement. So whatever your net worth, whatever you've built up, $1 million, of course, is going to be a fantastic net worth. So if you can get closer to that average and farther away from that median, where you're going to start seeing where you can take out of your retirement and live a somewhat comfortable life. And then sadly, we start to go back down. But of course, this is what retirement is designed to do. It's designed to go back down as time goes on. So in your 70s, it drops right back down to $1,605,372. So we're down about 70 or 65,000. And then the median net worth drops from 445,000 in your 60s all the way down to 371,626 in your 70s. And then I won't talk too much on this, but I'll just put the numbers here on screen for you. In your 80s, the average is 1,490,148, and the median is 340,615. And then in your 90s, the average is 1,294,125, with the median being 297,499. So of course, once you pass that retirement age, of course your net worth and your assets are going to go down because you're no longer actually working for an income, but you're drawing out of that. So again, if you're in the younger years, or even at any age that you are, if you're not retired yet, absolutely, immediately, let's start investing, let's start saving. I'll leave some resources down below, but it is absolutely paramount that we get those investments started at whatever age you're at, whether you have debt or not, because that is going to be, once we get the factories kind of working, even if it's just small amounts each month, it's going to be much easier to start investing over time. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. And hey, if you're ever worried about your net worth, or if you're constantly thinking about it, or you're comparing to other people, or just you're kind of wondering, where do I fit in? Just go back to your basics and focus on just you. It's your net worth, so focus on it, improving it yourself. But just know it's gonna be all right. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next one. Adios.